Merry Christmas, folks. From the Double RT Boxing Show from your host, Mr.A. Merry Christmas to you, folks, and the boxing people and your families. For all those who's tuning in, God bless and merry blessings to you, your loved ones, your families, and the subscribers who are tuning in. Thank you for supporting this show, and Merry Christmas, and I appreciate it. As the music has ended, now let's begin this Christmas edition of the Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now on this show, we're going to talk about what the year of 2018 is going to give us in the first month. We're going to talk about 4 specific dates: the 6th, the 12th, the 20th, and the 27th. We're going to do a few fight breakdowns and predictions, a little boxing talk, and then we'll just see where we go from there. Now, before we do the dates and the breakdowns, I'm going to go right off the well, first of all, I hope you are a subscriber watching this Christmas edition. And if you're a new viewer, just a boxing junkie like myself and the 254 boxing junkies that have subscribed to this channel, I hope this is where you get your fix. The Double RT Boxing Show with Mr. A. Ready, talk boxing. We have open doors for all boxing junkies. Come here. Tell us your name. Tell us what fight got you addicted. We talk boxing here, baby. I'd like to thank my sponsor. In the future, this could be something. So, I would love to have Maxi protein drink from the UK. Ooh, I would love to have that as on this show. Now, so like I said, before we do the 4 dates and the breakdown predictions, I would like to go off that, I guess you say the Billy Joe Saunders versus David Lemieux. I would like to do a little middleweight talk. Now, considering David Lemieux was number 1 for the WBO, got his shot. It's not like Billy Joe Saunders just picked him, and said, "Hey, let me fight David Lemieux. Let me prove myself." He did an excellent job, but he was ranked number 1. So immediately following that, I guess the talk was Daniel Jacobs wanting that shot with Billy Joe Saunders. And I've been hearing it's been getting pretty good feed on the internet and the boxing world. Now, me myself, I am not a fan of Daniel Jacobs getting the Billy Joe shot next. I said it in the breakdown. And going over the middleweights, you figure I got the top 5. The WBC, Jamal Charlo, 2 Canelo, 3 Daniel Jacobs, 4 Hugo Centineo, and 5 Matt Corboll. Now, another reason I kind of talked about this was, remember the talks of Jamal and Junior fighting for that WBC interim championship. That was supposed to be in January, but the talks of that match just slowly disappeared, dissolved. I looked up on the box rec, the boxing book from the gods, and no mention of that fight. So I've been trying to get articles and hasn't seen nothing of it. So, like I said, it was scheduled for January. No press conferences, no indications of the fight according to the box rec. So maybe that fight got pushed back, maybe it got canceled. But it still leads us to what is out there. 'Cause how can Daniel Jacobs, and I get it, he is one of the elites in the middleweight division, not taking that from him. He's considering, let's go over the top 5 real fast in each division. I just gave you the top 5 for the WBC. Charlo, Canelo, Jacobs, Centennial, Korobov. WBA, Canelo, Jacobs, Andrade, Charlo, Brandt. Brandt from the WBSS Cruiserweight tournament. I believe he was in Cruiserweight. No, he was in the middleweight, the super middleweight tournament. Brandt. So he lost to the veteran Russian. I can't think of his name right now, but he's the one who's fighting the Smith. And then you have the IBF. You got Sergey Deverchenko. That's the only one he's ranked in, is the IBF. And remember, that's the guy whose team said Andrade was ducked the fight. And Andrade said, I didn't have enough time to train. You know, if we ducked the fight, how come he's not fighting on the undercard still? You know, so it makes you wonder, well, you know, if we did duck you, shouldn't you still be fighting someone? But at the same time, he's like, hey, I wanted a big money fight. I'm not going to waste my time staying busy. I don't need to stay busy. I just want to whoop you. Who knows? Well, anyway, he's number 1. Number 2 is not rated. Number 3, Charlo. Number 4, Canelo. Number 5, Jacobs. The WBO, Saunders is the champ, of course. Lemieux, Brandt, Charlo, Jacobs, and then number 5, you get a new coin tossed into the well. What is that? Francis Lafrine. I'm pretty sure I messed his last name up, Lafrini. But like I said, so the IBF and the WBO, you got 2 new names, which I love. I love hearing, like I said, that this show just started in May. So I love hearing new additions to bring on the show. It gives me more boxing loves, gives me a more opportunity to share with you, the boxing junkies, give you another pill to pop in your mouth and enjoy that boxer. You know, it just, how can you, I get it, you may not like the fighter, you may not even say he's good, but just to say, hey, boxing's year round, baby. You know, you can't always have the same 5 fighters fighting year round. Well, you can, but, you know, they're going to need challengers in year 2 and 3. So, hey, let these guys be known, baby. That cool, refreshing drink. Now, to the middleweight talk. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. Thank you for watching. You figure if the fight is still going on, Charlo and Centennial Jr., that's number 1 and 4 for the WBC top 5. 1 and 4 gone. That leaves 2, 3, and 5. Number 2, Canelo taking on Triple G, gone. So 3 and 5, Jacobs and Korobov. Who's Korobov? I heard the name, I don't really know. And then you got the WBA. 1 Canelo, 4 Charlo, considering he's fighting Junior still, gone. So you got 2 Daniels, 3 Andrade, and number 5 Brandt. Or will this be this is the first question to thee. You know, this is a Christmas edition, so we're going to have everything mixed in. Maybe we might even end it with a Mr.A's thoughts. You know, but right now, at the 9:23 segment, we're going to give the first question to thee. Leave your answer down in the comment below after you put a thumbs up if you have not already. Now, if Daniel Jacobs challenges the WBA regular champion, Ryota Murata, will that be considered or will it be taken as a step backwards, getting that regular title again against a very nice hot prospect? He could always just vacate the title, like, hey, I just wanted the name. I just wanted to whoop the young boy. I don't need no belt. Let's get this junk. No section of fees for me anyway. So will that be a step back? Please partake partake in the question. Question one, question for thee is, once again, will and if Daniel Jacobs takes on the WBA regular champion, Ryota Murata, will that be a step backwards considering that's the belt he gave up to fight Triple G? Now, moving on, you got the IBF. Sergey Derevyanchenko. That, I remember a long time ago when he first came on the scene, for a hot week or two, everyone's like, oh, that'd be a good fight with Triple G because he came out banging with hooks. Then it just died out because he's been, the what's to say? I guess it's so many boxers for the PBC circle. It takes like almost 2 years to get a full rotation of people. You know what I mean? You can't just show all your boxers in 1 year. It takes like 2 to 3 years to get a full rotation of your fighters. That's why you sometimes see some careers hit a halt because everyone's got to get a shot. That's the only thing. If you want to find a flaw with PBC and their fighters, it's not that I don't think they're promoted properly. Well, I think just as a boxing, it's promoted. It could be better. Now, as far as the PBC guys, going a little off right here, but there's just too many of them. Unless you're really booming, you get your push. But if you're just trying to prove yourself, you get in that long line, you're going to get your shot again. We're going to be fair and let someone else get a chance to prove to be that star. Now, Sergey Derevyanchenko, he came on, I forgot who it was, he bombed the dude out of there. And everyone's talking, oh, Triple G, maybe Triple G. Then it went away. Then it came back around and he bombed out I forgot his last name. They bombed him out, and then being the quiet guy he is, all of a sudden it came out and you heard this news like, oh, and it was a good news too because Andrade just moved up, and the team came out saying Andrade ducked him. Like, whoa, that's what we needed to hear. Not saying that we didn't care about Andrade, not saying that we didn't care about him. We were like a chicken, but it was just middleweight news. It was like, oh, new names in the middleweight, cool, juice. And then it happens to be Andrade. Dimitri said they're being ducked. They're like, wait a minute, this guy was always saying he's ready to fight. Now there's one guy saying he ducked him. It was like it was music from the gods. you know me and the boxing gods. I reach for him. There's like new names making that middleweight division fresh. And then Dimitri came back and said, no, the money wasn't right and the time, It was 6.5 weeks. What do you think? Question for the number two. Was 6.5 weeks enough? No money, no nothing, just was 6.5 weeks enough for Demetrius to have enough time to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko? Now, if that fight does get made, because it's supposed to be rescheduled for the early January, maybe late January, early February. But remember, Dimitri said he didn't have enough time. This is supposed to be, since January, supposed to have 2 good middleweight fights happening. Now, are they going to get happen? Charlo and Centennial Jr., that talk stopped. Sergey challenging number 3. No, actually, Dimitri Andrade is not even in the IBF. Well, not in the top 5. Like I said, number 1 is Sergey, number 2 is empty, 3 is Charlo, 4 is Canelo, 5 is Jacobs. Why don't, you know what? Jacob should take, if Andrade is messing around, Jacob should steal that fight. What do you think about that fight? Sergey Devchenko and Daniel Miracle Man Jacobs? Can Jacobs use his slickness and pick his shots in between Sergey's hard delivering hooks? Sergey be doing his little. Remember, he trained on that the Ukraine. I believe he trained on that. He trained with some of the Ukraine team, right? Yeah, I believe it was what Lomachenko, Usyk, Gosnik, Derevchenko, and dang, I always forget that one guy who he lost on the undercard of the Daniel Jacobs and Triple G, I believe. He lost to Amin. He lost to the yeah. Well, that'd be a good little steal if Jacobs just come out of nowhere like, oh, Demetrius, you taking too long with this fight. I was trying to get that number one spot. Or if we move on to the WBO, David Lemieux lost. Robert Brandt, Charlo, Daniel Jacobs, and Francis, number 5. Number 4 can't take on number 5. Not after Daniel Jacobs took on Luis Arias. And that's another thing. You can't take on Luis Arias. Nothing against Luis, but you can't lose the Triple G, fight Luis, and then say, I'm ready for it. I deserve, not say I'm ready. Of course he's ready. But I deserve a shot at Billy Joe. Even if you are the goods, which he does deserve a title shot, just not like that. Not losing the Triple G and then fighting number 14, Lewis, and then say, boom, I go. If you should at least either get 2 fights, or if you're going to have 1 fight after a title loss to get it on, you should at least fight like number 5, 4. You don't fight number 14 and then get yourself another title shot. Not on the Double R2 Boxing show, at least. Like, no way, man. What do you think? Do you think that's worthy enough to give a title shot to? Well, no. Not when there's people out here. Sergey Devchenko trying to get a title shot. Matt Kerbal trying to climb the ladder. You got Demetrius Andrade. Like, hey, give me a title shot. But hey, Daniel Jacobs just fought number 14. It's Jamar Charlo. If he keeps getting pushed back and screwed, he might just give up that WBC. But no, he already has a WBC shot. So this fight, maybe Charlo even just say, you know what, I don't want to fight for that interim belt. I'm already number 1 spot for Triple G. All that interim match between Charlo and Centeno Jr. meant that fight was going to happen after the Canelo fight. Now, but the fact that Charlo is number 1, he has a time frame and to get his shot. But the intern, you get it quick. And we're going to talk about another intern later on during the show. Now, that being the rundown for what Daniel Jacobs could do, there's other fights out there than him just deserving a Billy Joe Saunders shot. That's my opinion. That's Mr. A's thoughts. And we're going to move on to our first date. We're going to move on to the new year. What's coming and how is boxing going to open up for us? January is looking swell. It is looking swell. You got January 6th. You got Isaac Dugbo versus Cesar Juarez for the WBO, interim on the 108 title. So Jesse Magliano's belt. Now then you have the 12th Clarissa Shields taking on Tori Nelson. Woo! I don't know how you boxing junkies, I don't know how many of you who's viewing the show tuned in to the Double RT Boxing Show. Thank you so much. I don't know where your percentage is and your bar is on for female boxing, but this is it's the AJ and the Klitschko, but in the female version. You got the young one, the old one. Tori Nelson did what Clarissa Shields did. It was attempting to do not in the Olympics and the amateurs, but on a professional level. Tori Nelson was doing it, man. She's still doing it, but it is the recognition and the attention wasn't on female boxing that it is now. If it was when Tori Nelson was thing, Tori Nelson would be a bad girl, man. Now you got Clarissa Shields coming up, just trying to run through a legend. Clarissa Shields ain't trying to win a decision. Not the way she's been talking, how she wants to just, become the best, get belts. Clarissa Shields is letting it be known she's here to wreck the shop. She's the bull in this china shop, and I ain't paying for what I break. And Tori Nelson's like, little girl, ain't gonna be like that. And like I said, I did more of a breakdown for this fight on its own individual breakdown. So if you're interested in that fight, go look up in the archives. Clarissa Shields, Tori Nelson, January 12th breakdown prediction. It's there. You can check that out. But it's two girls going out there to. No one's gonna, like I said, these girls can box, but no one's going to be out there trying to jab themselves to 10 rounds. No one out there going to be slipping in lateral movement, sticking and moving. Clarissa Shields been throwing a lot of hate, just coming out fire bombs. She hasn't really dinged anyone up, rocked in the sock and robot style. But she's just been just hitting people. Like Adler, she had stumbling, but Adler didn't fall. Adler took a lot of clean shots. Now Tori Nelson be cracking. She be hitting hard hooks, and no one has hit as hard as Tori Nelson that anyone Clarissa Shields faced. It's a difference between getting hit with a survival shot from an opponent and getting hit with a well confident delivered blow from a champion. And Clarissa Shields does get hit. And she gets, like I said, she gets hit by survival shots. Those ladies were just, while I believe Tori Nelson's going to be in there just, applying technique back at Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa Shields is going to, I think, welcome it and then fire back. It's going to be, I think, a hellacious female bout. It's for the what championships is it for? It is for the IBF and the WBC super middleweight titles. It is going to be, and then on the undercard, you have Christina Hammer fighting a TBA. So you got the future build. They're already just basically laying down the production, the road work for Clarissa Shields versus Christine Hammer. Basically, here's your check. Thanks for showing up. Have a nice day, Tori. That's what this Showtime is saying. Showtime is just saying, You're a good opponent, Tori. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate everything you did into the ring to help build Claressa Shields up. Now go, get away. And I even went chatted with it's in the about the video I made. Tori Nelson's manager, I think his name's Anthony, I want to say. And they're saying like, hey, she's fast, but is she really strong? Those chicks ain't dropping. And Tori Nelson got grown woman, full developed strength, and I believe in that. I absolutely agree with them. That's why I think this fight is gonna be great. Klitschko dropped AJ. AJ got up. Can Tori drop Shields? And when Shields get up to drop Nelson, then will Nelson get up? I believe it's going to be a fight. I hope you get a little more interested in the fight by watching this. Thumbs up. January 12th on Showtime. And then you have the 20th. Now, the 20th, see, January is also a very interesting month because you have two highly important welterweight bouts. The 20th, and then the following week, the 27th. The 20th is the highly anticipated Errol Spence Jr. making his first title defense against the AG, crafty, always dangerous, always in shape, Lamont Peterson. Now, people are out there saying, and the second fight, the 27th. Let's get into that. The 27th is for the WBA regular title, the one that Lamont Peterson gave up. Lucas Matthysse, and making his U.S. debut, Kiram. Now, before the show was developed, I did this type of research on my own, and I've been looking at Kiram for a while now. And the reason why I looked him up, because he was the Keith Thurman. My mom is a huge Keith Thurman fan, so she was always like watching PBC, watching. Oh, she loved the Sean Porter fight. She hated it, but loved it. It was a cool little moment because that's how I got to spend some time. As a son, you're always trying to find ways to keep it going with your parents. And boxing, thank you. Keith Thurman was another addition of bonding with my mother. It was great. On her edge, pins and needles. She loved that fight. No, seeing that, she's like, oh, what else for him? What else for him? She was asking me, what else gonna be for him? Did she, she saw Errol Spence. She's like the casual she was. She got bit, but took it like how all of us boxing fans like, what? Those two guys are gonna fight? Oh my God! She saw how hard Errol's punch. She like. As a casual, she didn't see like no technique. She just saw crack. She's like, "Oh, dude, that dude hits hard." So she's like, "Oh, my boy's gonna have to face that power puncher." So she got me to looking, even deeper into Keith's possible opponents. And I came across, I saw that Tiwa Kiram is number one he's been number one mandatory for a long time, at least 2 years now, at least. Was he even offered step aside money? Who knows? Did he turn down the bout? Who knows? It was just nothing ever mentioned about him. But he's been for like 2 years. Now, like I said, he has a very It's him and Lucas Matthysse for the WBA regular title. Now, if he has that belt, say Kiram wins that belt, considering he was in no rush to fight when he was in #1 spot, he might just take that belt, go back to Thailand, and just treat it like he is the champion, like Keith Thurman does not even exist, and just be the man in Thailand. Who knows? Who even knows? Unless WBA mandates that, like, hey, no, either fight him or get stripped for that belt. Now, that fight is happening. Those are the 2 welterweight fights happening on the 27th. I mean, within the 20th and the 27th. But there is also another fight happening on the 27th, and that is the WBSS Cruiserweight semifinal between Matthysse-Breakdowns and Alexander Usyk. So it's loaded, just completely loaded. That is a nice start, So you got from the 6th, the 12th, the 20th, and the 27th. Like I said, you got like every fight I went through is championship material. Their belts on the line. Some of them are multi belts. Some of them are just one shots. And then in the ones, and there's some fights that's not title shots, but they're good fights. At least they're good fights as far as building up your popularity, getting the fighter more recognition. It's the fights on the undercard of the Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson, the 20th. Just the bottom one, I guess the opener is what's his name? Adam Nowacki. He knocked out Arthur Spilka on the PBC on the July 15th. He's taking on Aigo Kalasdi. Have to look up into him, but he's on a 6-win winning streak, 5 KOs and 1 unanimous decision. So sounds about a right opponent for him at the right time. Just like I said, this is Adam. I guess he's a Brooklyn fighter. I'm not sure if he trains at the gym or he's very local with Big Baby Miller. So there's always word about, throwing those 2 Brooklyn dudes at each other. And Baby Miller's like, that's my Brooklyn boy. There's tons of people I could fight. Don't make me fight my Brooklyn boy. Not right now for some chump change. We're boys. We'll fight for some real money. So that's gonna be his push fight. It's gonna be with Baby Miller probably. Double RT Boxing. I'm your host, Mr. A. Thanks for tuning in, baby. And then you have also on that card a Stay Busy fight, because his name is not being mentioned very much in the the light heavyweight. I'm sorry, Marcus Brown. You're not hearing his name too often. The light heavyweights. I took a little look here. You got the WBC. Marcus Brown is number 3. But right now, the WBC, you got Adonis Stevenson in the works with Bottle Jack. So I guess maybe Marcus Brown can. You got Alvarez, who took that step aside money again, but part of that step aside money deal was he gets a shot. So does that mean number 2 and number 3 got to fight to maybe get eliminated with number 1? Because number 2 is Gosnick, and we know he seems to be the truth. He has the skills to look like he could do something. People say, how's his chin? How is everyone's chin? It's not good to have a good chin. It helps, but how is everyone's chin? Who knows? I don't want to get hit. You got number 2 Gosnick taking on number 3 Marcus Brown, maybe. And then you got the WBA Bivol getting ready to take on Barrera. And Marcus Brown is number 7 for that one. Then you got the IBF. Number 1 and 2, not rated. The champion is Better Beef. You got number 3, Colin, who he lost to Better Beef for the belt. Number 4 is Gosnick. Number 5 is Koro Murat. And number 6, Marcus Brown. Why is Marcus Brown not fighting these guys? I believe Murat has a fight coming up, but the number 5 for the WBA, Shifat Ishfi, or number 6, Joe Smith Jr. I really don't think they want Marcus Brown problems right now, but I'm just making it up. Who knows? And then you got the WBO, of course, being held down by Sergey Kovalev. You got number 1, Gosnick. Gosnick is gonna get himself a shot. He's 2 almost just about everywhere. You know, he is 2 everywhere. He's a number 1 or 2 everywhere. So someone's gonna have to bite down on their gum shield and fight this fool. Sergey Kovalev holding down the WBO. Gosnick number 1. Number 2 is not rated. Number 3 is Barrera, who's probably he's fighting Bivol. So he's probably going to lose that number 3 spot. And number 4 is Marcus Brown. Now, that's why this fight right here on the Aerospins undercard, the name he's fighting is Francis Ntitu. He, the fights I saw from him, he's nothing special, nothing stands out. You know, he gets the job done by hard work. His most famous fight, the name I recognize, was his loss against a young David Benavidez. It was on a PBB circuit. You know, they made a whole big old fuss about it, saying how bad the stoppage was, and she should have kept going. He was just taking too many clean shots, too many, and the ref just said, like, you know, that's enough. That's who Francis is, and that's what Marcus is fighting. So once again, like I said, that is on the 20th on the undercard. It is the undercard of the Errol Spence Jr. fight, and then it's the opening bout of the Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson undercard. Opening bout, Adam Kowalski versus Igor Kaletsky. Then you have Marcus Brown, Francis Ntitu. Then the co-main event for that card is Robert Easter Jr. taking on Javier Fortuna. Now, how about that fight, folks? You know, this is a good fight for Robert Easter Jr. Great fight, because the only time you was really hearing Robert Easter Jr.'s name was who Mikey Garcia should fight. You know, you wasn't hearing nothing about Robert Easter Jr. When is he fighting? How's his training going? Is he, is he still with AB? You wasn't hearing nothing about his road. You was hearing his name as an opponent. You know, completely forgetting he's a champ. Yeah, you was hearing it as a unification, but it was just still as an opponent. Mikey Garcia should fight Robert Easter Jr. You know, and now you're hearing Robert Easter Jr. as the champion again, which is kind of sad, but it's high respect to Mikey Garcia. Now he's taking on the always dangerous former champion Javier Fortuna. You know, and of course, Fortuna is the guy who lost to Jason Sosa. That's how Jason got his push to where he is now before he's a couple losses. But Fortuna, crafty boxer. Is it horrible footwork or just unique style? I don't know. I do not know. You know, you question for thee. Question for the number 3. So number 1, remember the question for the number 1 was Dimitri Andrade. Was 6 weeks enough to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko? Question for the number 2. What do you think of Sergey Derevyanchenko taking on Daniel Jacobs? What do you think of that fight? And question for the number 3. The Javier Fortuna. Is it horrible footwork or just unique style? Those are the 3 questions so far throughout this edition of the Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. Well, it is definitely not Christmas. So those are the 3 questions for these. Merry Christmas again. Good blessings. Let's get a little Christmas jingle. Take a little side break. We will be back to finish talking about Robert Easter Jr. and Javier Fortuna. So if you need they'll get a refreshment or a piece of cake or something, whatever you're eating for the holidays while you're watching this. There you go. You'll play a little Christmas chime. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, here it's slowing down. And the show is back on, folks. So, back to Robert Easter Jr. and Javier Fortuna. Good footwork, unique style, horrible footwork, good footwork, unique style. He throws punches from weird angles. And Robert Easter Jr. likes to be in the inside banging it out. But he does get hit when he bangs it out from people who throw up on him. And Fortuna, that's his sloppy, beautiful artwork. He throws weird angles, and he has a very good ability of throwing and landing the untraditional shots. And those ones are the ones boxers always say, those are the ones you get knocked out by. And especially if Robert Easter is tall, throwing, and he's going to get hit while he's throwing, he either get hit on the temple or on the bottom of that chin because he's going to be taller. So it's going to be a real dangerous situation. Or will Robert Easter Jr. just be on the outside, use his abilities, reach, height, and just pick Fortuna apart. With that footwork, he's going to make Fortuna be reaching. Who do I have winning this fight? Tune in for the show on a breakdown and prediction. We'll find out. Now, like I said, again, those are the 4 dates and those are the fights in January. Again, the 6th, Isaac Dubois taking on Cesar Juarez for the interim WBO Super Bantamweight Championship. And that is for to fight Jesse Magdaleno immediately when he gets back. Then you have the 12th, Clarissa Shields, Tori Nelson. The 20th, Errol Spence Jr., Lamont Peterson, with that undercard I just went through. Robert Easter Jr., Javier Fortuna. Adam Nowalki taking on Igor Kalitsky. And Marcus Brown versus Francie Intuti out of Canada from the Dominican Republic. Then the 27th, Lucas Matthysse taking on T.Y. Kiram. And I didn't even mention the headliner of that fight. It's Jorge Linares versus Gaethje. So, and then the 27th also is the WBSS Super Middleweight Semifinal, Briedis and Yukis. So the July is starting off with a hot, a nice jab right in our faces. The boxing is just, keep it like, oh, here we come around the corner, boom, box jabs boxing just jabs us in the face immediately. Now, we are going into breakdown number 1. We're going to do a breakdown prediction for that super bantamweight championship. That interim. Now, this is for Jesse Magdaleno, who was supposed to fight November 11th. He was supposed to fight Cesar Juarez, but hurt his hand in training, or so he says. According to Cesar, he realized what time it was about to be and pulled out from the fight. So, and it left Cesar in the dust with no fight. So Cesar and his team, they wrote a letter and called up the WBO and said, hey, since he pulled out and I have no fight, I want to fight for an interim belt. And WBO was like, okay, we agree. That's fair enough. So they called up number 3, because Cesar's number 1. Called up number 3, was like, Isaac, you just got granted a interim title shot. And that's how it was made. Now, Isaac Dogboe, 17-0, 11 KOs, fighting out of Ghana with a 60% knockout. 93 rounds, 23 years old. It's 5'2", with a 66-inch reach. Now, Cesar Juarez is 20-5, 15 KOs. Now, he's been in there with big names. Cesar, he is no slouch. If he's kind of like a Sean Porter. If you ain't ready for him, you're in for a long night. Like go ask Prince Albert Pariaga. He's real hot in the Philippines. All of a sudden, boom, 8th round, knocked his ass out. Now he's over there back to fighting bums. Not bums, sorry. He's back to just not fighting the caliber of people he should be fighting, thanks to Mr. Juarez, Senor Juarez. So he's, like I say, he's 26 years old. I couldn't find his height and his reach, but his last opponent was listed as 5'8". So no, his last opponent was 5'4", and Cesar was a little taller than him, and Dogboe is 5'2", so he's gonna be giving up probably about anywhere from 3 to 4 inches in this fight in height. So you got 148 rounds career-wise for Cesar Juarez, taking on the 93 rounds of Isaac Dogboe. Now, this is going to be a very clash of styles. To this, someone's will is getting broken in this fight. Now, as we're going to break them down in feet and legs first. Juarez, like I said, not only is he a problem like Sean Porter, he's a come forward fighter like Sean Porter. His footwork ain't fast. He's no cutting you off in the ring. But he's gonna come forward. He's gonna generate some good power from his legs. Basic feet movements. While Isaac, he can shift side to side, generate some good power. He could decent at turning on his opponents, but none of these fighters, from what I've seen, back foot fight. They can't go backwards at all. So, but I'm going to give the legs and the movement, because of the movement, I'm going to give the legs and the feet to Isaac Dogboe. He can turn and use decent lateral movement for defense, which we go into next. The defense of the slight movement of Isaac is pretty decent. He slips punches. He tries to, tries to catch and shoot on you. And he hops back a lot, but he's open. And when he's open real bad when he throws, his hands are low. And whereas Juarez, I believe Juarez is a better inside slipper. He slips punches and he even though Isaac is you can see he's the fast twitch muscle guy. He's quicker, reflexes and everything. So he's gonna have the speed over Juarez, whether feet movement, waist movement, punching. He's gonna be faster than Juarez in everything. But in the inside, I believe Juarez slips punches and rolls them better. He has a better high guard block, I believe. I don't think he gets hit as clean because this is by far Isaac's toughest opponent. So I don't. Yeah, Isaac hasn't been hit, but he hasn't really, to me, fought people who's going to fight him like Juarez. So I'm giving defense to Juarez on this one. And then going into the offensive category, like I said, these fighters cannot fight going backwards. A jab for jab. Who has a quicker jab is, like I said, everything is speed is with Isaac. Jab for jab. I think Juarez, to me, has a harder, crisper jab. Isaac gets it out there. Combinations. These guys have the same type of style. They're not fancy at the feet. They don't move. They can't fight going backwards. And their combination is basically the same. The 1-2 with the left hook. Juarez likes to double up on the left hook. He'll double up on a up and down you and then come with a right uppercut. So combination variation. It's real tough. I think they go similar. I'm going to slightly give it to Juarez. I think he does better inside combinations. I think he doubles up with the hooks and the right hooks, and it just does better inside work. But on the back foot and the outside, Isaac mixes up the 1-2 better. But as far as power, like I said, these guys 17-0 for 11 KOs for Isaac. That's a 60 percentage. Another 60 percentage. You got 20-5 with 15 KOs. So these guys got crackums. They can give each other concussions. Now it just seems, and Isaac, he's like I say, he's 23 years old, but he is filling out quite well. I remember when I seen him a while. Like I said, just names. I don't know how I saw this guy a long time ago, but I just tripped out that this dude was so small. And I was like, oh, a boxer from Ghana. That kind of caught my attention. And I don't watch, and at least before I started this show, I didn't watch smaller weight classes. It's just I didn't do it, But seeing how he filled out, he's getting a good size on him, so he won't be as easy to push around with he's always going to be at that height disadvantage, and his quads are filling out pretty thick, so he's going to need that for that inside wrestling. I noticed that his last fight that he got some good quads on him. Now, as far as this prediction, you got Isaac. Like I said, these guys are come forward fighters. You got just Isaac, who does it in a more faster technique type, jab type, I'm gonna be slick with it, but in front of you. Then you got Juarez, who's just gonna just try and hit you, but his footwork is a little off and he misses a lot. But at the same time, Isaac is fast, but his accuracy ain't that good. His accuracy is not that good, but he's fast. I just think this is a very good step up for Isaac. Juarez been in the ring with competition, I believe, better than Isaac, and I believe, and he's made and against better competition, Juarez has forced his style upon them, that pressure, and he forced better competition to go backwards. And I don't believe Isaac has the abilities. No, he has abilities, but I don't think his game is as strong as it is going forward as it is going backwards. I believe Juarez is going to force him to go backwards, making his offensive output drop. And but Juarez misses a lot of shots. I want to say he can knock Isaac out because he's gonna have the height advantage on him. He's gonna be punching down, and I believe he's gonna get Isaac against some ropes, and he's gonna stop Isaac. I say like in the 9th round. I say Cesar Juarez stops Isaac Dogboe in the 9th round by referee stoppage and becomes the interim WBO Super Bantamweight champion. And he gets his shot again with Jesse Magdaleno. That is breakdown number 1 right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. Where is my drink? Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much. Please thumbs up this video. Help the show grow. This is the Christmas edition. So once again, if you need a little break, that is your break time. I shall be right back. I will leave this. There you go. Enjoy that little Christmas jangle for a little bit. I shall return. And we are back. Welcome back to the Double RT Boxing Show with your host, Mr. A. That's how it will be one day. You and I both know it. Thumbs up the video. Let's start it from the ground on up with this first long edition. This is the special Christmas show. This is just a glimpse of what's to come, boxing lovers. Now, we started talking with middleweights, talked about some light heavyweights, talked about female boxing, and then there's a lot to talk about, but we're gonna leave that month of love alone, because that's something completely different. The next one we're gonna talk about is that good old welterweight showdown. Lucas Matthysse taking on that Thailand Kiram. Is there an upset in the air? Or there's just a homeland hype machine? What do we got? What do we got, folks? You got Lucas Matthysse, who's 38-4. 35 KOs, 81% knockout percentage. Mean green machine power coming out of Argentina. 181 rounds at the age of 35, though. 5'6.5", a 69-inch reach, and he's an orthodox. But 181 rounds and 35 years old. You start to think about Lucas taking on Tiwa. 232 rounds. I was like, think about 181. 232 rounds. And he's only 25 years old. 35 years old, Matthysse got 181. 25-year-old got 232 rounds. He's 38-0 with 25 knockouts. Couldn't find his height, couldn't find his reach. But his last opponent, this is where I got mixed up on the opponents. His last opponent was 5'8". So his last opponent was 5'8", and Tiwa was a little taller than him. Not taller, but either an inch or about the same height. So he's definitely going to have the height advantage on Lucas, for sure. The reach, I don't know, but definitely the height. Now, like I said, he won't be the fastest. He's going to be in all fast twitch muscles. He's going to be behind. The breakdown and prediction number 2. This one is also, I don't know if you want to say, this is very interesting. This fight is going to be, because Lucas can box, but we think of him as just purely as for his power. So he is he gonna box your ears off? Probably not. But that's all Kiram knows to do. All he does is 1-2, 1-2. He's left, right, left, right, right, left, right. It's you ain't gonna get nothing out of Tiwan. So it's gonna be a jab, a good jab, a well delivered, mixed up jab, which we saw give Lucas problems. Postal Danny put a jab on him, but Postal really showed a jab, and a taller man was putting a halt to that power of Mr. Lucas Martin Matthysse. So considering you got a jabber, who's going to be taller, who comes into this ring with a known higher knockout percentage than the man who knocked him out. Is it a cakewalk against a nobody like everyone thought? You know? Is it? You don't know. We don't know. You know? This is boxing. Can't just take it easy. Can't just take it light. And then Lucas Matthysse fought Emmanuel Taylor his last bout. I believe that was a bounce back showcase fight for Lucas. I think Golden Boy, they ain't really taking the best care of Taylor, and I don't know if Taylor's staying dedicated. You know, so does Matthysse still have it? Is he that? So his last fight was against Taylor. 35. Does he have that? Is he gonna be loose in his hip? Is he gonna be able to just bulldoze past T-Wom's jab? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Breakdown prediction number 2. The feet and legs. The feet and legs. You figure T-Wom, he plays with the distance. He won't rush in too fast. He won't go back too far. He's, you know, he ain't gonna move too much. He's just right in front of you. Or is he in front of you? Is he too far? He just plays. That's all he does. He just goes inches, a game of inches with his feet. That's basically all the movement you're gonna get from this guy. He ain't cutting the ring off. He ain't fighting backwards. Just a game of inches with his feet to make you overreach. And bow, he's gonna jab you. You know. Whereas Matthysse, we know he can duck down. You know, do all that stuff with his legs and feet. He can do little crab walks, but can he still be quick and do it at 35? You know, Matthysse kind of been looking broken a little bit in his fights. You know, I don't want to bring that into the breakdowns. It's just, I don't know. To me, he just don't look the same fighter. You know, and he's not taking the hits, and they're not leaving the same expressions on him. His expressions to hits are different. So, but he's slicker with his feet work. He could go in and out, you know, in crouches. He could duck and swift all under punches. So the feet work and the legs. It's tricky though, but I think his footwork would be quicker. It might help him against just that 1-2 of T-Wom. You know, I think it might help him. So it's going with Lucas Matthysse on that one. As far as defense, with all that tricky footwork and not tricky, but that elusive, it just compared to Kiram, Lucas Matthysse is gonna look pretty slick in there. But like I said, Kiram, his defense is that gap. He knows how to control that gap really. He either he's jabbing, you know, he's timing you, or he's just not in the distance. He won't be there. You know, he's out of range. But it looked like he's in range, but he won't be. That's all he does. That's all he does. 1-2s and illusion with the gap. Where as far as Lucas's defense, I don't think it's that good. He can't fight going backwards. He's his jab is okay, but he's more known for his come forward hooks. He ain't known for his strong jabs, strong forward punches, strong body attacks. He's just known for his feet planted hooks. So pushing him backwards, he's not that good. And not saying that Kiram's better, but Kiram's style is he's the jab. He's jab. He already jabs in that little gap. He doesn't do it gracefully going backwards, but he's able to adjust. Now, defensively, I'm going with T.Y. Kiram. With the high guard and the gap control, and he's really good at right punching where you are. He slits over your jab. He's good at that. So going into offense, like I said, you're only getting a 1-2 and a bunch of ones or a 2. So I'm thinking that's a 1-2. So 1-1, 2, 1-2, or 2. I think if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's my talk. Picked up, I misunderstood that. But what he does do, he's a big guy. To me, he looks like he's at least going in that ring at 158, 160. He's a big boy, dude. And he's going to have weight on Matthysse, I think. But he's good at timing. Like, protect yourself at all times. He obliges by that rule. If you stumble, he'll jab the shit out you. If you how when your fighters hold up and they tie it, and some fighters kind of, notice a lot of sometimes fighters are like in the tie-ins, they kind of turn their back and walk away to get themselves more time. The referee go, hey, turn around. He'll walk with you, and as soon as you turn around, as soon as you turn, it's like protect yourself at all times around this guy. He's all he has is 1-2, but he times that good. Or like in middle of clinches, he'll hold it out there halfway. He deliver like a 6-inch jab. Then he'll deliver like a whole full reach, a 6-inch or a 2-inch jab. He's good timing with it, and then his right hand is pretty decent. It's kind of like a opposite Adonis Stevenson, but he did. At least Adonis throws that wow hook. Adonis can throw a crazy left hand and a crazy left hook. T1, he ain't got that right hook. It's just he got the straight right, but you're gonna see a bunch of left jabs, different versions, 2-inch jabs, 3-inch jabs, full range jabs, then the right hand. Occasionally, like I said, he's either playing the gap, or occasionally he might get inside and like the inside fight gets forced. But either a gap or maybe just smothering. But he's a gap illusionist. What is it? 1-2. Wow, Matthysse offensively, you get, like I said, a decent jab. Like I said, he's known for his left hook. Right hook has power, but is he a fighter on the move? No, everything has to be planted and in front of Lucas. If you move, like I said, even if you just, like I said, he's lucky. T.Y. might be just gonna be there in front of him. He's lucky for that. Because if you even just move left or right, you throw him off. Any power puncher you throw off, their feet ain't planted. So Lucas has a decent jab. It could help him out, but his jab won't win him any. His jab won't decide no rounds unless you really just have B- boxing skills. Because if you have a B+ jab, you could beat Lucas Matthysse jab. His jab is nice, but it's like I said, you should not be losing a round to Lucas Matthysse if you're a boxer because of jabs. Maybe because you're getting caught with hooks, but you should be able to beat Lucas' jab if you're a boxer. He's, like I said, it's a nice jab, but I don't think he's that boxer. You're gonna get some hooks, some feet planted hooks, dipping inside, delivering some body hooks, but nothing fancy, nothing that's gonna you won't be able to figure out. If you could take his power, I think you could figure out just those hooks. I don't see his offense that good, but he's a hooker versus a jabber, and he moves a little. Like I said, he gets in there. He can slight turn you. His feet work the fact that he has faster feet and he can kind of go side to side, that might give T-Wom some problems. We're gonna have to see how good the big man is good at turning. Because I think Lucas is gonna be able to turn him. Now, that being said, thank you for tuning in, folks. This is the Christmas edition of the RRT Boxing Show. That's Ready Talk Boxing with your host, Mr.A. Thank you for watching this show. Thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up if you have not. Now, the prediction for this bout, I am going with the U.S. debut, Kiram, to stop Lucas Matthysse. January I'm thinking, is going to come out with some banging, because go check out the breakdown prediction of Clarissa Shields. I believe Errol Spence is going to stop Lamont Peterson. I picked Juarez to stop Doughboy. And I'm picking Kiram to stop Lucas Matthysse. With that height, that 1-2, I don't believe Lucas Matthysse is going to have the height and with the reach, and unless he just gets caught with a clean shots on T.Y. and can't take his power. Like I said, T.Y. is born and basic, but it's good. I think it's going to be a hard time to get past that. Unless T.Y. just freezes under the lights and gets caught with a good shot, I don't see Lucas Matthysse outboxing him and powering him over for 12 rounds. I think T.Y. Kiram is going to be bigger, stronger, the heavier man. He's going to out jab, and that jab, I think he's just going to jab the hell out of him. T.Y. Kiram is going to stop Lucas Matthysse. He's going to stop him. That is my prediction. And that is the RRT Boxing Show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mr. A. Merry Christmas, God bless, and all.